Good afternoon, everyone, or good evening. Let me pause that. And welcome to the Connect with the Myeloma Crowd Chapter. We're excited to have you join us today. Let's begin with a couple of slides. So, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Audrey Burton-Bethke, and I am the Myeloma Crowd Community Manager. This chapter, the Connect with the Myeloma Crowd Chapter, is brought to you by the Myeloma Crowd Community Program by HealthTree. We are excited to have Myeloma Coach Program Director Rosalind Height join us today, and I will then introduce her formally in just a moment. Today's session is recorded and will be sent out to all registrants within 48 hours of the event's conclusion. As always, we would like to thank our sponsors, without whom this would not be possible: Bristol Myers Squibb, Amgen Oncology, Genentech, Adaptive Biotechnologies, Sanofi, Oncopeptides, Karyopharm Therapeutics, and Takeda Oncology. Due to popular demand, we have now included an agenda slide within this presentation. And we'll be including an agenda slide in all of our presentations in the Myeloma Crowd Community Program. My introductions should just last a couple minutes more, excuse me, and then we will turn the time over to Rosalind for the presentation. Rosalind will then present for around 30 minutes, and we will invite the audience to ask questions after that time. So we're excited to get started today. Today's topic will be creating exponential growth within the Myeloma Coach Program. This program has the potential to positively affect all myeloma patients and their families across the globe. No matter who you are, having one-on-one connection can be beneficial both emotionally and educationally. Whether you join this program as a patient or a coach, and whether your relationship lasts one day or several years, the benefits that you can gain from this program are life-changing. It's now my pleasure to introduce our featured speaker to you. Rosalind Height is the Myeloma Coach Director and wife of myeloma patient Richard Height. Rosalind worked in healthcare for nearly 20 years as an occupational therapist. She is passionate about sharing resources and education that help individuals improve the quality of their lives. She and her husband are the parents of 3 busy, active teenagers. And just to share a little bit more, her oldest daughter is headed off to college soon. So that's a milestone and we're excited. Rosalind, the time is now yours. Thank you for being here with us.
Thank you so much, Audrey. And you are right. I'm embarking on lots of new things in my life and new chapters, hoping that I can navigate them well. I appreciate that kind introduction, and I am so grateful to join with you today and have the opportunity to share about the Myeloma Coach Program. I love this program, and I hope after learning about it, you will be interested and hopefully join us. It's a wonderful program that offers personalized peer-to-peer support directly from myeloma patients and caregivers. Today, I'm going to be sharing information about what the program is, how it works. I'll give a kind of general overview of the website, and then we'll talk about where we're going and our hope to extend the reach of this program to all who could benefit. So I'd like to start out by talking about who is a myeloma coach. That is a myeloma patient or caregiver who has experienced life with myeloma and really desires to give back. I am continuously impressed by the coaches and their desire to give back, even while they're continuing their own myeloma journey. They have gotten to a certain point and they want to share what they've learned with someone else to make it easier. A successful coach really has the ability to listen, to identify individual needs, and then to share resources. They have to be able to connect with that person on a personal level, to be able to listen to what their specific individual needs are, and then share the resources that they're familiar with that could help them, as well as tools or personal experience they have that can help meet those needs. This in turn empowers those individuals to continue on in educating and advocating for themselves. And they really do get empowered just from that connection in talking to a coach. It really can help give them that confidence to begin doing it for themselves. All of our coaches are volunteers, and their role really is to teach or to share what they know and what they've learned. Like I said, to guide to resources and those tools, and really to provide that encouragement. All of that in turn, I feel like provides hope, which is so essential when you receive that myeloma diagnosis, or whatever stage you are in the journey. Having hope really can make such a significant difference. And talking to someone who has navigated that journey successfully really can instill in you that there is hope. Coaches really do, they lead the way, and they're examples of how we can advocate for ourselves. They help us gain the skills within ourselves to research, to ask questions, and to seek out what's best for us or for our loved one that we're helping. So once a coach registers, how do they know how to coach? Well, we take care of that. We provide you with all that you need to be a successful coach. Our orientation is completed online, and it includes a coaching basics course, which has courses on topics such as listening skills, conducting an interview, so helping you to really understand how you could get to know the person that comes to you for coaching. Also covers self-care and setting boundaries, as well as when to refer to a mental health professional. We also require that coaches complete the myeloma basics courses that are found in HealthTree University to give them a solid foundation and understanding of myeloma. All of those combined provide that solid foundation to help you get started as a coach. And then additionally, we offer ongoing coach education each quarter on a variety of topics. We also have a meeting each month where coaches can gather to network, ask questions, problem solve, and share resources with one another. And this is a fun time where they get to know each other and have become friends. Additionally, we have a semi-annual call with a myeloma specialist. At that time, we also receive updates from our pharmaceutical sponsors and partners. And then we offer a resource database and access to a variety of myeloma education and resources for coaches to have access to. Those coaches who are actively engaged are also invited to attend our annual Myeloma Coach Summit. And this is a time where they receive targeted training, they can network with fellow coaches, and receive education from myeloma specialists. And not to mention the education that's provided, it's a really fun event and fun time. Coaches also, they share what they know. Oftentimes when coaches register, or they're new and they say, oh, how do I do this? And they're nervous about it. And I remind them that they are a coach based on living with myeloma, caring for someone with myeloma. Just that knowledge and the areas that they have experience in prepare them to become a coach. That personal experience really prepares you to help someone else. Additionally, coaches that have specific and maybe more focused experience in certain areas are able to participate. We have specialty coach teams. For instance, we have a certified HealthTree Cure Hub coach certification. And so coaches who love HealthTree and have experience using HealthTree can go through the process to become a HealthTree coach and signify that in their profile, and individuals can come to them to have help with their own HealthTree profile. We also have coaches that have experience with financial resources, and we have a team of coaches that provide support and help for financial resources, and they're on our financial coach team. So there's different ways to have additional specialty areas as a coach. So let's talk about how the program works. The program is all online. It's completely run online. Individuals who are interested in volunteering as a coach register, and they create a profile. And I'll show you an example of this profile next. But profile includes their photo, the location, the city and state of where they live. They share a little bit about their myeloma story, and then also the areas that they have experience in. So there's a wide variety of these areas, but they could be things from stem cell transplant experience with physical health, nutrition and exercise, or mental and emotional health, becoming your best advocate, as I mentioned earlier, financial resources or HealthTree, experience with health insurance issues, or particular experience with treatments, whether it's some of the newer treatments that have come out, we have those listed. So if you have experience with selinexor or Blenrep or Darzalex, you could list that in your profile, and someone who's considering beginning those treatments could reach out to talk to you about what your experience has been. And then on the flip side, individuals who are interested in working with a coach can then register, log into the site, and once they've registered, they can view those coach profiles and search by experience or location and choose the coach that they feel is the best fit for them. Once they do, they can make that connection right online. The connections are all self-directed. We don't assign coaches to anyone. You're able to choose your own coach, and that's something else that sets us apart from other programs, is that individuals they choose their coach, and also they can work with more than one coach. All of the coaches have such different and varying areas of experience to share that we do allow you to work with more than one. Maybe you'll choose one coach based on their experience with financial resources, and another coach and talk to them about stem cell transplant. After you make that connection, the communication that you set up is per your preferences, whether it's in person, by email, through phone, text, or video chat. And when you connect with the coach for the first time, you can then decide the best way for both of you to communicate, when and how you'll communicate, as well as frequency and duration. That's just really determined based on the need and based on availability of that coach. We find that some coaching relationships are short. Maybe someone will need to talk to a coach just once or twice and they get answers to their questions, they feel empowered, they move on. Some are more sustained and they talk regularly. And then others, we find they create lasting friendships and they maintain that relationship and communication as friends. So let's take a look and give you a view of the website. So if you were logged in as a patient to work with a coach, this is what you would see. As I mentioned, you'd see the coach profiles. You'd have ability to search in different ways, whether it's by location. As I mentioned, you could search by communication method. If you only want someone that would meet you in person, you could search for that. And then those areas of experience. And then on the flip side, continuing on with that. Once you find someone, so you'll pull up all the profiles of all of our coaches, which we have just under 150 coaches. And it can be a lot to go through, and you narrow that search down. And then when you find someone that you're intrigued about, you click on their profile, it opens up and shares more details with you. It shares you all of those specific areas of experience that that particular coach has. It shows you their preferred methods of communication and contact. And then, as I mentioned, their myeloma story. So you can read more about what they've experienced with myeloma in their journey and their own personal experiences. If you find that that's someone that you want to connect with, then you can use those buttons at the top to either send them a message. Oftentimes people will want to start off with just that, sending a message, kind of getting to know them, or asking more detail about their experience. So you can understand if it may be someone that would be a good fit for you, or you get enough from their profile and you'd like to request them as a coach. And so you click on that button. And what happens after that is your request is then sent to the coach via email, and they get notified that you've requested them as a coach. And we ask that they go in and either accept if they're able to fulfill that request, or decline. There's times where maybe they aren't able to, or for whatever reason, so they would accept and decline, and then they would reach out to you. And we ask that the coaches either accept or accept that request or respond within 48 hours, and then that they would get in touch with you within 72-hour time period so that you could hear back from them and be able to get started with your coaching experience. So next, I'll show on the flip side, if you're a coach, what you would see. So once you've registered to become a coach, you have this dashboard that it's kind of your control center that shows you everything that you need. You can pull up your list of individuals you've connected with, your patients. There's a direct link to take you to your training, places where you can log your hours. And then you can also go and view other coaches as you meet them and get to know them and remind yourself of who is where and things like that. We have a bulletin board there that shows all of our events that are coming up for the month. There's also a resource section, as I mentioned earlier, where you could click and have access to resources that you can share with those that you're coaching. So kind of the coach control center. So why would you become a coach? We're talking today about the exponential growth, and to grow, we need to reach people, and to reach people, we need coaches to coach those people. So why would you choose that? Well, evidence shows that helping others can also benefit our own mental health and well-being, as the quote at the bottom of that slide describes. And connection really can reduce stress as well as improve mood, self-esteem, and happiness. I saw this firsthand with my husband. My husband, Richard, he was diagnosed with myeloma at the age of 39. And as everyone is, we were completely overwhelmed. He was overwhelmed, became depressed, was discouraged. He was really feeling hopeless. And when we would go to the infusion room for those first treatments, he would dread it. He just talked about how it was such a depressing place, and it was so dreary, and everyone was so serious, and no one talked to each other. And he decided that he was going to mix it up. He was a really social person, and he had the initial thought to do chemo bingo. And we were shot down by the staff at the facility. We weren't able to play bingo in the infusion room. However, he decided to do a raffle. And he went around and got donations from different businesses, gifts, and things like that. And when he'd go to the infusion room, he'd go around and meet each person and get to know them, ask them their name, and they have them enter this raffle. And then he would pull their name out, and whoever was the winner got the prize for that day. But it really helped him to get to know other people and to share. As he got further along in his journey, he began to share what he had learned and what had helped him. And nurses would come and say, "Oh, there's someone here that's newly diagnosed. Will you come and talk to them?" And he really just gave people hope because he was a little bit further along. And it became therapeutic for him because he felt like he was making a difference. And I saw that. And when the coach program began, I really wanted to become involved because I not only saw the difference that it made for him, I also knew the difference it made for me when I was able to connect with other caregivers, to not feel so isolated or alone. And it made a dramatic impact on us, and I wanted to pay that forward. And I've experienced that personally and continue to see that in individuals who coach and also receive that coaching. Becoming a coach also allows you to have connection with community. And that connection, as I mentioned, was so therapeutic for my husband and can be for others. Really just knowing that you're making a difference with what you've gained from myeloma can have it matter, and can help you keep perspective. And your experience really is worth something and can help other people. And making a difference in another's life really is so rewarding. I thought that it would be nice next. I wanted to share some thoughts from our current coaches based on their experience and the feedback that they get from those that they're coaching. So one of our coaches, Marty, he lives in New Jersey, and he had a coaching request from an individual who actually lives in Morocco, and they connected and did a video call. And this is what was shared after that. The individual said, "Our phone call was a life-changing event for me. The information that you provided was something I couldn't get anywhere else. talking to you made all the difference in the world to me. And that Marty just lit up. He called me. He was so excited to be able to share that with me and to get that feedback and to know that he'd helped someone in that way. It really touched him. I'm fairly newly registered coach. Sheila has just begun coaching, and she recently wrote me and she said, "I'm enjoying serving as a myeloma coach very much. It is a privilege and blessing to walk with these ladies on their multiple myeloma journeys." And she's found joy through that. Another one of our coaches, Sally, she actually met in person with someone, received a request from someone who lived local, and were to the point where they felt comfortable meeting in person. And she met with this woman who was the caregiver and her husband. And after that meeting, she received this great feedback. They said, "Thank you most of all for your time, heartfelt care, and knowledge. You are such a thoughtful person, and I'm so thankful that you are part of our journey. I appreciate your words of hope and attitude of well-being. You normalized the experience of myeloma. Yes, you were correct. Our minds were swimming with thoughts, questions, fears, and uncertainties, but you helped us to gather all the random pieces and try to make sense of this diagnosis and journey. We are hopeful for a positive outcome." And I loved reading that quote because I think it is just so universal from what I understand and who I've talked to, is that most people, their head is swimming with thoughts, questions, fears, and uncertainties. They're so overwhelmed. And to have someone normalize their experience like Sally did, puts it in perspective and really does allow you to move forward and start to be hopeful for a positive outcome, if you will. So I wanted to share those, and there's many more stories and thoughts and feedback that I could share, but hopefully that gives you a glimpse of what people feel on both sides of that, participating and working with the coach as well as coaching. Next, I wanted to share a video. Our team has created a short video that highlights the coach program, and I thought it would help if some of you are new and unfamiliar with the program to give you an overview really of the premise of the coach program, and it'll kind of recap what I've discussed and give you some more visuals to the website. But it's fun and entertaining and enlightening. So we'll play that next.
The Myeloma Coach Program is a free service offered by the HealthTree Foundation to provide personalized peer-to-peer support. The program is open to all myeloma patients and caregivers and is easily accessible through our website. Myeloma coaches are a myeloma patient or caregiver who wants to give back by sharing what they've learned to help make it easier for others. To become a coach, you can register on our website. Coaches commit to volunteer 8 hours a month for up to a year. When registering, coaches create a profile that includes the areas that they have experience, their location, photo, and more about their personal myeloma story. They also receive initial and ongoing training and support. If you are interested in working with a coach, you can register on our website. You will be given access to view all of the coach profiles. You can then select one who has experience in the areas you are seeking. Connections are made directly on the website. Once connected, you can communicate with your coach in the way that works best for both of you. By phone, email, text, video chat, or in person.
I think someone else should become a coach so that they stay connected with resources to help them understand their own disease and the advancements that are forthcoming, and to just be there to help other people, because when you help other people, it makes you feel good.
Now I was putting myself back in charge by learning about my disease. I was gaining back my physical, but my mental still wasn't there. And I was learning that it was giving me my mental charge back. So I can learn about my disease, I can educate others, I'm empowering myself.
The coaching program is great because people want to know what to expect in a stem cell transplant, what to expect with different drugs they might have, what different treatments they might have. Is it advisable to stay with my normal oncologist, or should I go to a specialist? And I think that's what coaches can help with. And again, really a coach is there to listen and find out what they're thinking.
I'm not scared anymore, and knowledge is power, but it became much deeper in understanding how HealthTree is helping the research and helping us towards a cure, and how not only do we need to help people, you know, mentally, physically, and whatnot, but we all need to help each other towards that cure.
I
The
love that
Myeloma Coach
video.
Program
I love
is a free
Angela's
service.
quote where she says, when you help people, you just feel good. And I think that's true. And that's definitely the message that I hear from our coaches. And also the reminder from Doug that, you know, coaches are there to listen, and they do a good job at that. So where are we going, and how can we extend our reach? Well, that's where we're going, is we want to extend our reach. Really, our goal is for all who could benefit to have access to a coach, and for all who would like to volunteer to share their experience, to have the opportunity to become a coach. And so in order to do this, we need to get the message of this program out to all of those individuals. We want everyone impacted by myeloma to know about this program and to participate in a way that's meaningful to them. One way that we strive to do that is through our coaches. Our coaches are really our ambassadors. They share information. We create contact cards for them with their name and photo and the areas of experience that they have, and they take those contact cards out and share them at the clinic. They share them with their providers or other people that they meet that would be interested in becoming a coach or having a coach. And they're wonderful to help us to spread the word. We're also working to establish regional chapters, and Audrey can maybe speak to this at some point, but we're looking at creating regional chapters in areas that are near myeloma specialists, but currently don't have any support groups available to them. And that's a way to be able to extend this program and to have coaches leading those chapters. And our team also works to provide outreach to myeloma specialists. We provide the information on our programs directly to the myeloma specialists, to their nurse navigators. We're working on contacting and connecting with community cancer centers so that we can educate them, the information and programs can reach those who really need it. And we also continuously work to share information about the coach program and all of our programs within the HealthTree Foundation programs, so that participants can be aware of all the resources that are available and to participate in those. Now we have some time for questions. We'd love to open it up. If you have any questions for me about the coach program, I would love to answer those.
Thank you so much, Roz, for that presentation. I really enjoy that video. Every time we watch it, I think it's such a perfect explanation of what the Myeloma Coach Program is, and whether you're a coach or a patient, the benefits that can come. And I appreciated you detailing why you would want to become a coach, or why you would want to become involved in this program as well. Lots of my work is with coaches who are in the Myeloma Coach Program. And it's amazing to see them either rise to the occasion or become even more than they thought they could. Because at the beginning, I think, you know, it is daunting. Oh, I'm going to be in this coach position now, and I'm going to be teaching and mentoring other people. That's a lot of responsibility. But the beautiful part, and I think it was mentioned in Sally's quote of, or what do you call those?
Testimonial. Yeah.
Thank you. Testimonial. Thank you. The beautiful part about it is it normalizes myeloma for both the coach and the patient to say, we're sharing this experience together and we get to go through this and be educated together. As we know, the myeloma field, the research is accelerating and we're getting new treatments all the time. And we're learning new things about treatments that we've had in the past and side effects and just all these different things are happening. And as the coaches and the patients join together, both ends of the relationship rise to the occasion and do more together than they could apart. So that's just my little testimonial for the coach program.
It's true. Well, you bring up a few more thoughts as we're waiting for any questions to come in, but you bring up a few good points. One is that my goal is that no one has to face myeloma alone. And there's so many resources available, and maybe support groups are meeting online or whatever that may be. And we know that there's a limited amount of support groups, so not everyone can participate in a support group. But even so, we find that people like having that personalized one-on-one connection where they are able to talk to someone individually and be able to open up and connect on a personal level and to, again, normalize it. And then they know they're not alone. They have someone they can call. And to Audrey's second point of just the vast information that's out there. And we all know that myeloma research is just moving at such a fast rate, but also access to information is just exploding. And now more than ever, there's so many webinars and things you can do and listen and watch and learn. It can be overwhelming as a myeloma patient to be able to sort through it all and figure out what applies to you. And that's what we've seen too, as well, and that a coach can help with that, because they're a step out of it when you're trying to make all those treatment decisions, trying to figure out everything that you need to do personally, to have someone to look at it with you and help you to sort through it all and be able to figure out what is most important for you at that time and sort through the information to find the information that's most valuable to you at that point in your journey. And that can be so helpful.
Yeah, I agree. Well, I have a couple questions and then maybe I'll explain the regional chapter of things. But one of the questions was, can a coach take a hiatus? For example, if they're, coaching and really loving it, but something either comes up in their personal life or treatment didn't go too well, or they want to take a vacation. What's it like that in that sense?
That's a great question, because as I mentioned, coaches are in the thick of it. They're a myeloma patient or caregiver. They're still doing it and going through treatment and so on. So there could be times where they need a break or they're having some side effects, and they can do just that, take a break. And what we do is we have the ability to hide the coach profile, so it's not public during whatever amount of time that may be. It's just like Audrey mentioned, maybe they're on vacation, they're taking a vacation, they don't want any new requests, and so we'll hide their profile for that time. Or I've had coaches that are moving, whatever it may be, or I've had coaches that have had some health challenges they need to take care of, and they'll take a break as long as they need. When they are ready to resume coaching, they let me know and we make their profile public again. So it really is dependent on you, as well as with what you're able to commit and when, but as well as when you are actively coaching, you are able to say, I can work with this many people. And then once you have that, you don't have to take on any more requests. It's completely up to what works for you at your life at that time.
Awesome. Thank you. A question about the training. So do they, the mentors, sorry, I'm trying to read this. They complete, how long is the training that they have to go for? And are they automatically launched, like when they sign up, are they automatically saying, okay, I'm ready to be a coach, or can their profile be hidden until they complete the training? So it's kind of a two-part question.
Yeah, that's a great question. Once you register as a coach, your profile is public. And as I mentioned, some people are like, I'm ready to coach. I live with myeloma. I can talk to someone. Because a lot of times that is what people need. First and foremost is just to talk to someone who could relate. So we say you are qualified to coach. If you would like, we can hide your profile until you do go through that training. I should know the hours, and I don't off the top of my head. It is all online, and you can break it down piece by piece to do that. So I need to make note and write the total amount of time that it would take. But people start to do that, and some people just do it all the way through. Some people just break it down into pieces and do it that way. But again, it's back to your preference. Whatever you feel most comfortable with is what we can do. And most definitely we can hide your profile while you access the training and want to get your feet under you. And then when you feel ready, we can make it public. It's completely flexible and based on personal preference because everyone is so different.
Awesome. Is there a time once they start the training, like, okay, now you have 2 weeks to finish it? Or what's the expectation with the time?
That's a good question. And I leave it open. I don't have a hard deadline for that with people. So I let people do that at their own pace.
Great. Darlene is wondering what happens to the people that are being coached if you take a break? What's the transition process like?
Oh, that's a good question. So we ask that they communicate that to you so you know. We can help connect you with another coach if you have needs during that time. And as was mentioned earlier, sometimes people are talking to more than one coach based on what their needs are, and they can continue that. So I really do leave it up to individuals to work those things out themselves. So if that person's taking a break, our coaches know each other so well, they've got to know the other coaches where they oftentimes will refer individuals to another coach. That could be the case where, hey, I have this person you could talk to while I'm not available. Or I see that happening where coaches are coaching someone and that person has a need come up that they don't have experience with. They will seek out another coach and help make that connection and help them find support through another person that has that experience.
Awesome. Thank you. And just to add to that, one of the best parts I think about the Myeloma Coach Program is networking with other myeloma coaches, being able to gain experience and share tips and form that bond of being in this together. So just another plus for the Myeloma Coach Program as well is that networking with other coaches across the world and across the nation. So,
and one other thought along with that too, Andres, I think a lot of times people get intimidated thinking, oh, I can't become a coach because I don't know everything about myeloma, but you don't have to. That's the biggest point I want to make today is you don't have to know everything. None of our coaches know everything, but they know their experience and they know the tools that have helped them. They know the resources that have helped them and they share those. If there's something they don't know, they reach out. They reach out to me, they reach out to other coaches, and it's this great big community. And that's what is really wonderful about it, is it is a community where we all support one another and share and help. We're all here to help each other make it.
yeah, I agree. Can coaches help us join, or can coaches help patients or caregivers join HealthTree and enter the patient's medical information into the platform?
Yes. So we have listed as an area of experience HealthTree. And so any coach that has HealthTree as an area of experience, they are familiar with HealthTree, they use it themselves, and they feel comfortable enough helping you. We also have a smaller group of coaches who are HealthTree CureHub certified coaches, and they have just done additional work to demonstrate their deeper understanding of CureHub and that they, again, could help you. We have coaches that will organize Zoom calls and have that person pull up their CureHub profile and help them, walk them through entering their labs, whatever it may be. But most definitely, we have coaches that can help with that and speak to that.
Great, thank you. Before we finish, I did want to speak a little to what Roz was saying about the regional chapters. As part of the Myeloma Crowd Community program, we are starting this initiative of establishing regional chapters around the nation. We are determining which areas are best. We don't want to show up in a place that another organization already is or where a support group already exists. What we want to do is make sure that everyone who is affected by myeloma has access to free educational and emotional support resources and things like that. So what we're going to do, as Roz and I are kind of merging missions a little bit, and we're finding people in these gap areas or key areas where we can train coaches in the same kind of training that they would get as normal myeloma basics, networking with other coaches, making sure that they understand what's expected of them and they feel confident. And then they're also getting support group discussion guides and things like that, so that they can start a chapter in their area. We're still at the very beginning of this new phase of expanding. We're really excited about it. The coaches that do become chapter leads, regional chapter leads, can choose, do they want to keep doing that one-on-one experience, or do they want their profiles hidden? They'll still experience all the perks and all the great parts about being a coach. But we're really excited to just try to expand our reach. That's our number one goal, is to try to reach anyone who's myeloma related or myeloma affected, to have access to great resources and guides so that they feel connected, confident in their decisions that they're making.
Audrey, can I share another thought on that? It makes me think of one of our coaches. She had just started getting her few coaching requests and was just new and getting her feet wet with coaching. And she sent me an email and she said, I love this and I hate it. I love it because I love the connections that I'm making and I feel like I'm making a difference and I love getting to know people. But she said, but I also hate it because I know there's more people out there that need this. And she was so distraught by that. And that really is our goal and mission with this, is that we can extend that reach so those who need it can have it. And that, like we say, no one has to face myeloma alone, but no one to feel isolated or alone. And we think of, if we could have someone in every zip code, that people could know they had someone to reach out to talk to, that could talk about the specialists in that area, or facilities, or finding treatment locations, whatever it is, and the local resources, whatever it may be. And so just extending and expanding that reach to be able to really reach anyone who needs it is so important to us.
I agree. Kim has a question. Are there or have there been any legal issues that have or may come up?
No, there hasn't. There hasn't. We have, and to speak to that, so we have a confidentiality agreement for the coaches, and also we take confidentiality very seriously, and that's an expectation for the coaches, is to maintain confidentiality, and that expectations as well for individuals who sign up to work with a coach, to understand that coaches are volunteers. Coaches don't replace in any way
like psychologists,
information from your medical specialist or your team. Coaches aren't medical professionals. They don't offer medical advice. They share resources and they share support. They don't offer any medical advice. And we recommend for any medical questions and decisions that you seek out your medical providers and team for that. Coaches can help you think of questions that you could ask and help empower you to advocate for yourself with your healthcare professionals, but they in no way replace that. So there are the different parameters. And if you have any other specific questions related to that, Kim, feel free to reach out to me.
Thank you. And Ross, I was just wondering if you could speak to the Myeloma Coach Summit that we just had. I know this is one of the favorite perks of the people in the Myeloma Coach Program. So if you want to just walk us through kind of what it was like,
definitely.
I think people would be really interested.
Yes. So we had our third summit. We started this summit the year we started the program, and it's annual. We hold it in Park City, Utah, which is a beautiful place in the summer, and a way to bring our coaches together to meet face to face. And what they love is that meeting each other, and they become friends and network with each other and getting to know one another. And then we provide, like, as I mentioned, targeted training on coaching, how to be a better coach, and providing coach tools. We provide additional education on the tools offered through the HealthTree Foundation, so on Cure Hub and HealthTree University, and accessing all of those tools and resources that are available through the foundation. Being able to meet some members of our HealthTree team, which is wonderful, and getting to know them. And then we have a day of training for myeloma specialists that come and speak to us and give us that higher level education and training and answer questions and things like that. And the icing on the cake is we have a lot of fun in the process and do some fun activities and have fun dinners and get to socialize and enjoy the outdoors in a beautiful setting. And it really is an exceptional event. I love it and look forward to it every year.
Yeah, and Roz does an amazing job planning and coordinating and executing it all. I really admire her. So she's the right woman to be leading this program, and it's really exciting to join together. We don't have any more questions. I will give a couple more minutes if in case anybody does have those last minute questions that they want to do. I'll just share my experience that it was so fun to be at the summit and realize that this rare disease had affected all of these people that wouldn't have otherwise met or connected together. And that even though they were faced with this rare disease that is very complicated and very personal, they decided to give back. And if coaching isn't right for you, this isn't me saying, you're not wanting to give back. But to see that select group of people that chose that path when faced with such a difficult circumstance, it was so wonderful to realize that they had chosen something great when they could have chosen like sorrow and negativity, and there are places in our journey for sorrow and certainly days of negativity, even for coaches. But to be able to give back to people who are going through that same moments of uncertainty and moments of unknown, and what's that stem cell transplant going to be like, and do I go on maintenance therapy? What was your experience? Just sharing those real experiences together, I think is the beauty of the Myeloma Coach Program. So that's kind of what I wanted to finish with. At least on my end.
Wonderful. Well, I appreciate all of you for attending today and wanting to learn more. And if you have questions, don't hesitate to reach out to me, and Audrey will be sharing my email, and visit our website as well. And don't hesitate to reach out.
Thank you, Roz. We'll finish with a couple outro announcements, and then we will be done. Our next meeting will be on September 15th, 2021 at 3 p.m. Eastern. We will be highlighting the Myeloma Research Initiative, and Nathan Sweeney, who has a PhD in cancer biology and who is also the Myeloma Research Lead, will talk to us about studies that the Myeloma Research Initiative has done in the past, what they are currently working on, and what they have ready for the future, and how you can participate and help accelerate myeloma research. You may be interested in other Myeloma Crowd Community events we have coming up. On the 19th is our newly diagnosed myeloma chapter. We will be discussing, that's tomorrow, we will be discussing how to understand our myeloma labs. You can come learn from medical professionals what those complicated labs mean, what numbers you should be paying attention to, and ask questions, general questions that you have. The 24th at 1 p.m. is our Nutrition and Wellness for Myeloma chapter. There's an organization in New York called Plant Powered Metro New York, and a representative, Kristen Cavey, will be joining us to talk about how to make a seamless transition from our current diet to a whole food plant-based diet. Wednesday, August 25th at 1 p.m. Central or 2 p.m. Eastern is our African American myeloma chapter. Multiple myeloma specialist Dr. Scott Goldsmith will join us to give a Genetics 101 for the African American community presentation. The link to sign up for any of those events and even more events I haven't mentioned today is found at the bottom of this slide and will be sent out in the follow-up email within 48 hours of the event's conclusion. Again, a thank you to our sponsors, Bristol Myers Squibb, Amgen Oncology, Genentech, Adaptive Biotechnologies, Sanofi, Oncopeptides, Karyopharm Therapeutics, and Takeda Oncology. And thank you to each of you for joining us and helping us build a stronger myeloma crowd community. We hope you have a great rest of your day. Thank you.